even if this stuff is happening, the damage has already been done to the Bricks and Minifigs company and the store. And now all the people that have been buckling down are just going to point to this and be like, see, Bricks and Minifigs is never in the wrong. Have we not looked at the actions of what's been going on? Like, genuinely, it's just crazy. Anyways, back to the thing. Crystal notifies corporate of closure interest. A store transition begins. And this is the crazy part. This is the part we saw on video of her basically just taking over the store, right? In late October, Crystal contacted BAM Corporate asking how to close the store. Her life partner had received a publishing offer in Europe. And BAM Corporate and Crystal were aware that she owned just under 200,000 unpaid royalties, unpaid lease, and covered vendor bills, rendering her insolvent and triggering BAM Corporate security interest in the inventory. BAM Corporate owed Crystal nothing. And again, this is the part that I think was the issue, because even though the consignment might not have been part of the thing, even though I think we've still seen maybe alleged proof of that being the case, it's the video footage and basically the owners saying that, yeah, it sounds like a threat because it is. That's the part we're all mad about, because that's crazy, that's corrupt, and that's not okay. And anyways, she agreed, giving her closing a week to prepare, blah, blah, blah. At no point in October did Crystal say a single word about a consignment collection to the store. And the handover and the first mention of the consignment. On October, Brandon Best arrived at the store closed to store closed to begin the transit. Wait, Brandon Best arrived at the store closed to store closed. Am I crazy? Am I reading that wrong? On November 14th, Brandon Best arrived at the store closed to store closed. At the store closed to begin the transition. I'm assuming that's what they meant to say instead of at the store closed to store closed. That's crazy. Let's just add 14 more to store closes in there. Crystal became uncooperative, refused to hand over the keys as agreed. And again, I think that is because she knew the consignment was there. And she's like, hey, what are we going to do about that? That evening, Crystal recorded ring doorbell footage that Crystal herself later accessed and shared publicly, which is the first and only time Brandon heard the word consignment from her. Crystal mentioned needing to cease to pay a customer. The response from the BAM worker assisting Brandon in real-time evidence and statement, that's a business matter. Brandon will take on the business. He takes on all of it. This was not an acknowledgement of the man's collection. It was a representative hearing this for the first time during a chaotic handover and incorrectly assumed it was an authorized agreement by BAM. And that, honestly, you could make up something for that for sure. And then it says, Crystal shared this footage publicly, but only a portion of it. A significant amount of the footage from earlier that day is absent from what we believe she later released to Brian. Crystal was formally terminated in writing that evening based on prior and documented breaches of the franchise. She eventually left the store. Brandon secured it and obtained the keys. The store was in a rundown condition with very little inventory. Before leaving, Crystal removed cash from the till, intended to store records, and shared confidential footage without authorization. If it was her store, and it was still her store when she got the footage, how was that unauthorized? I think that's just crazy, right? And that's just them I think with them saying the shared confidential footage with the ring doorbell footage, it wouldn't. That doesn't make sense. Isn't that basically them admitting to trying to cover up the tracks, allegedly? Like, right? That's just exactly what it seems like. That part specifically seems super shady. Let's say all this